Okay, I'm going to try it again. Marc-Édouard Vlasic.
Are you trying to say that in French?
Yeah.
I'll give you like a 40% out of 100 on that
It's just
one.
not Marc-Édouard Vlasic, right?
Marc-Édouard.
Marc-Édouard.
No, it's Marc.
Mac.
Yeah, the C, you're kind of making it like a K or Q.
Okay.
Yeah, Marc-Édouard Vlasic.
You tried to coach me up like 5 years ago. I'm still struggling
You're
with
butchering
it.
the French language.
Sorry.
As Phoebe Buffet would say.
So I was also thinking about this. I have been interviewing you now for 16 years. That's like a third of my life. And you've been on the Sharks 19 years.
Half of my life.
You've only known one NHL team. Does this feel like a long time for you, or has it gone by quickly? Does it feel like just yesterday that you became a Shark?
It's funny to say, but it feels like both.
Yeah.
I mean, I've played 19 years here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, time doesn't fly by more for one person than another, but I always say when you're having fun, time flies. And I remember coming in my first year, guys like Hanner would tell me, enjoy it. It goes by fast. And now I'm 19 years later, and I'm like, yeah, it does. But if you're having fun, enjoying what you do, time will fly.
Your first game, Curtis Brown scored the game-winning goal.
In overtime, I believe.
Like Brownie was on the team.
Yeah,
That's
Brownie.
how old.
That's how old.
Let's throw in some chirps here. Let's chirp Brownie while we can.
Well, he played with Gruzy. They were playing together on the same line.
You've had so many connections to so many Sharks over the years. Like, you've probably played with half the players that have ever put on a Sharks jersey. I don't know the number. I'm just guessing.
It's probably
a lot.
quite a few.
It's a lot.
I mean, Ryan Close here, assistant GM. I played with him. Played with Gruzy.
Right.
Played with Tommy Wingles.
Right.
Right. You know, played against
Nabby.
Marchand. Played against him. Played against Doug Waite.
Yeah.
Played with Nabby.
Just missed Ricci, right?
Missed Ricci,
Yeah.
but played against him
Yeah.
because I believe he was in Arizona.
Yeah, okay.
My first year.
You were drafted in the second round. I didn't know this. I mean, we've never actually talked about this. 25th overall in that year, but it actually caught you by surprise to the point that you were not at the draft? Like, you were on the computer and found out?
Well, that year, the year before was the lockout, so 04,
Yeah.
05, and then the draft in 05, they only invited the first rounders, like
Yeah.
a couple. I don't even know if it was all of it. They didn't have much of a draft. So no, I wasn't invited, and I didn't think I'd go second round. I was projected third, even fourth round. So I was in Nova Scotia, my family cottage, and just, hitting refresh on the computer. And then at some point I saw my name, 35th overall by San Jose. I was quite shocked. I thought it was an error, so I
Right.
kept hitting refresh. And then other names would come behind me,
Yeah.
and I'd be like, okay, it's not a typo.
Yeah.
So, and then not too long after, I get a call from Gilles Cote saying I got drafted by San Jose.
That's amazing. And then to not change teams throughout your entire career. I remember that's what Patty said was the biggest difference when he was on Toronto. Is like, he saw all his teammates be traded over the years. He never had a respect for what that's like. You still don't know like what that's like. You only know one team. It really is rare in sports, right?
It
In
is
this day and
rare.
age.
I have respect for the players that
Yeah.
change teams quite often.
Yeah.
I have respect for the girlfriend and the wives as
Family
well,
stuff,
just
yep.
as much for them, even more. Kids as well, because once you get traded, you're gone the next
Yeah.
day or 2 days later. And,
Yeah.
sometimes girlfriend or wife and family stays behind. So I have respect for all those guys. I mean, unfortunately, it's part of the business. Your teammates leave, buddies leave, new ones come in, and you make new friends, new buddies. It's the sucky part of the business, but it's part of it.
Your cousin, Alex, is on Chicago, 23 years old. Do you have much contact with him? Do you guys talk shop ever? Is a lot of hockey talk?
Not that much. It's my dad's brother, moved to Chicago a very long time ago. Alex was born there. Emma, his sister, was born there. I think his older brother, Eric, was even born there. So my uncle was there in like late 90s, early 2000s, and then didn't see them much. When I started playing, when I made the NHL in 06, 07, I would go to Chicago and go to dinner with Alex, and Alex was 4 and 5, 4 or 5 year olds,
Yeah.
annoying.
You're
So
calling
he was
him annoying.
No,
Okay.
in
As
a
a
good
kid.
way. As a kid. Not right now. He's he's not. I mean, he's like 6'6".
Yeah.
He's a big boy. Nice kid. But back then, a little 5-year-old. I was the
right.
same way. You're kind of like
course.
hyper, asking questions. I mean,
Yeah.
I played mini sticks with them, but no. I mean, they grew up in Chicago, stayed in Chicago.
Yeah.
I was in Montreal, so we never really
You're on
saw
more of a
each other.
separate path. I mean, you do talk, but it's just not like you're not best buddies.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
No, we don't. Not that. Not that we don't like each other.
Yeah.
I'll text him when he, there's a couple times last year, the year before, when we played each other, or even when he made the NHL, I sent him a text.
Yeah. Watching your game evolve over the years has always been interesting. And there's one thing that I found, I think you might like this. So I was looking at penalty minutes, and it's not that you ever took a bunch of penalties, but like 6 years ago, PIMS went way down to the point where there was like 10 and 10 in like 142 games. So 20 total penalty minutes in 142 games. Was there at some point for you, playing against skilled players, was there a real attention to detail and discipline? Did you try and make that effort to try and cut that down? Because again, if you look at it, there's a year or two in there where it just changes.
Well, I probably got a lot of 10 minutes for misconducts at the end of the game, which I loved to do back then. But
you're saying before the numbers went down.
Take away the 10 minutes, but 2-minute penalties, the minors,
right,
let's say.
Right.
I tried not to take them. It's hard, especially as the game evolves. As soon as you touch a guy, you're going to the box for some reason.
Especially.
Nowadays, depending on the score, et cetera. But that's the thing. I always thought if I take minors and then I'm end up in the box, then I can't kill it. Then I can't play against the best players.
Right.
And the stick positioning, where you thinking ahead, basically. If you can think ahead, then you can anticipate the play and not fall behind, and then not have to reach and hook and hold. So I tried to be in such a good position ahead of time, be proactive to not, be in the box.
Here's another stat: 63% of NHLers are left shots. Only 37% are right-handed shots. And I know a lot of Canadians are lefties. Is it just what you're raised to do? Shoot left? Why do you shoot left?
Just I think it's
you right left-handed?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's probably like golf. You know, it's just there are more righties than lefties.
Yeah.
I'd ask in baseball, what is it? Is it more
righties than lefties in everything, throwing and hitting?
It's just the way it is.
Just the way. Okay.
Yeah, and I think this stat, when I started, is a lot less. Like, there were more lefties, I think.
Yeah, you're right. It's gone down, actually. There's more righties now.
Yeah, I think there's more righties now, because when, like, my first 10, maybe 12, 13 years with this team, the righty D-man, maybe we had 1, 2. Now we have 3, 4 sometimes. So I think that number is going down. It's just, you pick up a stick at a kid, and I don't know. It's just that, I can't tell you why.
So you've seen the NHL as a league evolve. What would you say about the players that you have to defend? And it's no disrespect to the older ones, but are the forwards now more skilled than ever? I mean, has that been a challenge for you? The game's only getting better? Or does it change somehow?
The game evolves. So the players have to adapt. And I'm not saying players now can't play in the 90s, and players in the 90s can't play now, but it's a different style. Mm-hmm. Players were built differently. When I grew up, I loved the 90s, and I'd love to play. Like, my dream was to play against Pavel Bure. Yeah. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. But over the years, I've been a part. Like, when I started, I played against, Sakic, Iginla, Shanahan, Keith Kachuk, and now I'm playing against his sons. And the game's faster, but the rules have changed. Like, there's no more. Now there's no more red line.
Right.
In the 90s, there was one. The hooking and holding, you could get away with whatever you wanted. Now you can't. Right. Guys, when I started, I was the only 19-year-old. Now there's a bunch of 18, 19-year-olds starting. It's just everything evolves, so it's hard to compare. It's basically like saying back then was apples, now it's oranges. You can't compare both. It's the same sport.
Yeah, right.
But the rules, the players, the
changed.
Equipment, the nets, everything has changed.
Do you ever catch yourself looking at Will and Macklin and being 18 and 19 and remembering when you were also 19 in this league? Because that's got to be a challenge, right? I don't know how much you remember of that or what your perception was back then, but being 19 in this league, that can't be easy. You did it.
Well, I did it, yeah. I mean, they're going through exactly what I did, live with a family.
Yeah.
So you're with a billet.
Yeah.
I mean, they're with Jumbo and Patty. I was with the family that Hurdle stayed with, Milan Mahalik stayed with, and I think Brad Stewart stayed with. So the only thing you have to focus on is the hockey aspect of it. But, you're young, 18, 19-year-old, thrown into another I was thrown into another country, another city,
right.
knew everything.
Absolutely.
And you're still maturing.
Right.
But I think these two so far have handled it well.
Yeah.
And I've obviously these two will be relied on for the next 10 plus years for this organization to get back where it needs to be.
So speaking of Quebec, and obviously we're going to drop this episode, this interview, I think the day that the Sharks are in Montreal, going back there every time. And you've been doing it for so many years. Is it still special? And especially, let's be honest, as you get older here and at the end of a career at some point, right, whenever, do you start to appreciate like playing in the NHL in Montreal and every trip you get to go back? I know it's always been on your calendar.
It's always playing them in Montreal. I mean, playing them in San Jose is nice. It's not the same thing. Playing at the Bell Center is... I mean, I look forward to every game I play this year, but that one is by far the best. Just stepping out and warm up, back home, it's awesome. I mean, they get 21,000 plus every game now. In the one game I play, I probably know hundreds of people in the stands that buy tickets to come see me play that I don't know bought tickets. Last year I was doing warm-ups and I could count probably 10, 15 people that I knew that was sitting there. It's very, very special. I go once a year, so the pressure's on to play well because I don't get a do-over.
Right.
Yeah.
This is interesting. Why do you think you and I love dogs so much? We share. I don't know how many things we share in life, but
why do we love dogs?
I know we share that.
Why do people don't love dogs? That should be the question. I mean, they're great.
I like most dogs, I feel like, more than I would like most humans that I just might randomly meet or see.
Well, everybody that watches this could say the same thing. They prefer dogs over people. I don't know. It's
not everybody's like us, though. You know,
no,
like some people think it's a pet is an object, or they think of it as just something.
There's not many people that some people do, but I don't think many people think that. I mean, there's a lot of people that like cats over dogs, which is totally fine. I like cats too. It's a different. If you have time, you have a dog. If you have a little less time, a cat takes care of itself.
Right.
But having a dog is fantastic. I have an 11-month-old Bernedoodle that I got at 3 months. She's fantastic. Loves dogs. I mean, we bring her to Carmel and let her off the leash. She runs for miles and then ends up coming back. I don't know. There's something about them that just the thing is, I think like we don't deserve them just because they're so loyal, so genuine. Like they don't ask for much.
I know.
You could give them a branch and they're the happiest thing in the world. You know, they don't ask for much, but they give you so much in return. It's a great family dog. Kids love them. Yeah. Everyone loves them. I don't know. It's just, it'd be hard to find. There are people out there that think they're just, but I'd say 95% of people out there, it's a family member.
You let your dog lick you right on the face, huh?
Yeah, only if she didn't lick
something else. Yeah.
Her private area before that, give her an ice cube before that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, people think I'm crazy. They're like, you let your dog do that? Sure, why not? Not gonna kill me.
Let's not get into details.
Yeah. Good call there. All right, then let's get to the last thing here. And again, I am only saying this because you've been around so long, 19 years, and can't wait to see what 20 years as a Shark looks like. As you get to the end of a career, though, do you start to look back and think about what your legacy as a hockey player might be? And also, do you think about what you may ever do next once playing is over?
Playing, once I'm done, I have no idea.
I don't want to rush this, by the way.
I know. I've been asked, but...
we all think ahead. We all
think ahead, and obviously I think I will think that when I cross that bridge. Because if I think that now...
Yeah, good point.
In my mind, it's like, okay, it's coming to an end. And obviously I've done way more than what I have left.
Right.
But
that's the way to put it.
I still love coming to the rink. I love competing. I love hanging out at the rink. I love playing hockey. So if I can still do that next year, I still have a year left, I'll do it. And then the year after, if I still can do it, I'll do it.
That's the legacy, though, that you're talking about, a guy that just did it for so long. Is longevity part of what you hope to have as a legacy? Because that's impressive.
I just want to have fun and play as long as I can.
Yeah.
And whatever my legacy is, I come to the rink and put in the work. And every single teammate I've had, I've got along with.
Yeah.
There's not one guy I haven't gone along with. I go out there on the ice and compete. I was going to use the next couple words, but I'll refrain from using them. I compete my butt off.
We're not on TV anymore.
Yeah, that's true. I can say that, but I compete my butt off when I'm on the ice.
Yeah.
I care for my teammates. I want to help this team win, the franchise win, and to me, I feel lucky that I've been able to play in San Jose for 19 years. Because coming in, I knew nothing about this city, this team, and this city's great. Everything around it is great. The arena, the fans, just very, very nice. So when I leave, I just, whatever it is, if he was the best shutdown D-man, the best teammate, the nicest guy that compete, if I'm accepted by my peers, by the coaches, by the other players, by the GMs, that's basically what it is, because it's those guys that they know what it takes to be an NHL player, and to me, the best reward was being acknowledged by those people.
I should admit, I selfishly asked you about what might be next, because if you want to take a few years off and then join me in something, I'll be around,
Take Curtis's spot?
Well, that's easy.
Oh, okay.
You could be better than that, like, day one. Yeah.
Curtis or Hanner's spot or
No,
Mark
Hanner's
Smith?
better. Hanner's way better than Curtis.
Maybe I could
Smitty's
take Randy
pretty good,
Hunt's
too.
spot. Or Drew.
Well, this is going off the rails.
It is.
Pickles, thank you, buddy.
My pleasure.
All right.
Drew, coming for you.